Hi, my name is Arlene Martinez from My Sangre Latina. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, let's start these questions before I get caught out. What unique challenges did you face editing Transformers One compared to other films that had you work on before?
Well, Transformers 1, of course, is more of a big epic action friendship movie, right?
Hmm.
And some other films I've done have been a little bit more comedy. It's been lovely though, because Transformers has a really nice balance of comedy as well as the action and the emotional story following our two lead characters. So I think one of the main challenges was some of those giant action sequences that we wanted to be really realistic. Like it could be a live action movie, whether it was in the race scene where the characters are chasing and there's cars whizzing by. So you're like in an epic race and they're running through it and things are passing them. And that is challenging because you start in storyboards and you build it as exciting as you can in storyboards, and whether it's a battle or the race, or whatever. And then you have to work with a cinematographer who puts it into previs, and that's challenging because you are getting like camera moves suddenly and things whizzing by and trying to stay connected to your characters. And then it moves forward into the animation. And luckily, ILM is just so super talented at giving us beautiful animation and lighting, making it all feel very realistic and you're immersed in that environment. So,
How do you balance the fast-paced action scenes with more character-driven moments in the film?
that is it's a good balance to strive for because we wanted this to be an emotional story following two friends and what happens to their relationship that causes them to go in different directions, right? But then it's Transformers, so many of our audience are expecting the type of things you get in a Transformers film, right? Or an animated, other animated things that have this kind of action. So you're balancing battles and fight sequences, but you don't want that to be the purpose of the movie, right? It's not the purpose of the movie. It's something that needs to be earned and needs to have it. There's a reason that there's a fight sequence or an epic, exciting, like the race sequence, for example. So yeah, you just have to, when you're looking at three acts of a film, you have to really you have to follow the arc of the story and make sure the moments that are coming up, whether they're action or they're emotion or it's a comedy moment, you have to make sure they're earned. And that's just what you do as an editor tracking a story. And when it feels like, oh, okay, we're getting overload of a certain moment, whether it's an action scene or not, you know to pull it back and try to not linger on it longer than is necessary to tell the story.
Hmm. Uh, Without saying too much, the scenes, can you share an example of a scene that underwent significant changes during the editing process and why?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Can you repeat that one more time? I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Can you share an example of a scene that underwent significant uh, changes during the editing process and why?
Okay. I'd say I go back to this quite often, but the opening of our movie is something that is really important to get right, especially when you're telling a new story that people have never seen, and it is the origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, right? Um, so when we were introducing them as characters, our audience knows them as enemies out the gate because
Mhm.
we've always watched these films after they've left Cybertron and they're on Earth or they're in their, battle with the Quintessons or whatever. But yeah, the opening, it was very important. Like we had different versions of it that we went back and forth on where one of them was sort of a foreshadowing what was going to happen to Optimus Prime, and then we go back realizing we're in current time, and the opening was a foreshadowing, and we're like, no, we don't want to give that moment away yet, which is a dramatic thing that happens in Act Three. So, and then we did have a little bit of like, okay, we're going to introduce the miners and where they are. They're not on Earth, they're on Cybertron. Nobody's ever seen Cybertron, so it was very challenging to represent like we're on a new planet. We don't know what the planet, it's made of metal. Oh my God, we've never seen this, right? So it was a lot to establish and then introducing our characters and then trying to represent our characters as minors versus all the other Cybertronian citizens, and that there's a difference between them, like kind of a class level. So that was all very challenging. And then introducing our two characters who everybody knows who they are eventually and making sure people recognize them. And we kind of did one time where we kind of teased like, oh, maybe we'll have our Optimus Prime character when we first see Megatron on camera, there's sort of like a fake um like they're joking around, but they're kind of
Mhm.
fighting, but we don't realize they're joking until after. So we're expecting to see these two fight out the gate, and then it was like, oh, okay, but it felt like it was not a good way to introduce our two characters to the audience as friends. So we're like, let's not try to tease them and be like, they're enemies. Oh, wait, they're friends, So it, and that we did go through many screenings showing different versions of that to executives just to get feedback and notes, and might have even gone to one test screening just to see how an audience reacted. But yeah, the opening of the movie, probably the first, 5 or 10 minutes was super crucial to get right.
Well, time is up, almost there, but I just want to have the time to congratulate you. The
Oh,
movie, I
thank you.
just watched it and it's amazing. I love it. I think it's one of the best Transformers.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe because it's animated and you can do more stuff, like in real, you can do so much with,
Yeah.
when it's animated. But I love the story, how everything, it was just perfect. And I'm a
Thank
big fan of
you.
Transformers. So
Oh,
thank you
that's
so much for your work and I really appreciate it. And
thank
have a
you
good
so much.
day.
Bye, you too.